Is this even fit for human consumption? I slammed the glass plate down hard on the granite countertop. A blob of broccoli puree mixed with quinoa splattered onto the placemat, resembling an ugly grayish-green scar. 5-year-old Lily immediately spat out the food in her mouth into a napkin, her little face crumpling with grievance. "Mommy, I'm hungry. I want chicken nuggets." Marjorie was stirring her vegetable soup slowly with a silver spoon, not even lifting her eyes at the sound of Lily's complaint. "Ella, watch your tone. These are all organic ingredients. Lily's at a crucial age for growth, she needs to eat healthily." Her British accent always carried an air of condescension, even when she was saying something as down-to-earth as organic spinach. "Healthily?" I let out a sharp, sarcastic laugh. For 3 weeks straight, breakfast has been gluten-free bread with hummus, lunch is boiled vegetable salad, and dinner is either this mushy stuff or roasted eggplant. The doctor said Lily was underweight at her checkup last week. I grabbed Lily's wrist and held up the child's thin arm in front of my mother-in-law. "Is this what you call healthy?" The kitchen door clicked open, and Tyler poked his head in, his suit jacket still on and his tie hanging loosely around his neck. "What's going on here?" I could hear arguing from the hallway. His gaze flickered between my tense face and Marjorie's unflappable composure, finally landing on the dining table. "Oh, quinoa for dinner. That's nice." "Nice?" I whirled around to face him, my anger flaring like gasoline doused with a match. "Tyler, your daughter hasn't had a bite of meat in 3 days. Look at her face, she's practically losing her color." Marjorie set down her spoon at the perfect moment, dabbing her mouth with a napkin. "Ella, didn't we agree on this? Mortgage rates just went up, and Tyler's company is laying people off. We need to tighten our belts. Meat is so expensive, especially organic meat." She turned to her son, her eyes softening. "Tyler, I saved you some special provisions. They're in the storage containers at the bottom of the fridge." My heart sank like a stone. I'd suspected these so-called special provisions before. Last week, I'd gotten up in the middle of the night to tuck Lily in and caught Tyler wolfing something down in the kitchen. He'd hidden it in the fridge the second he saw me, claiming it was just some crackers he'd grabbed because he was hungry. Now it was clear that had been a lie. Tyler's ears turned red. He avoided my gaze and hurried toward the fridge. "Mom, you didn't have to do this. I insist on seeing these special provisions." I shoved him aside, knelt down, and pulled open the bottom drawer. 3 storage containers were neatly stacked inside. The first held golden roasted ribs, the second pan-seared salmon, and the bottom one even contained half a Boston lobster. A rich meaty aroma mixed with butter wafted up, a sharp contrast to the bland vegetable smell lingering over the dining table. Lily trotted over, her little nose twitching. Tears welled up in her eyes instantly. "Daddy, you've been eating good food in secret." "It's not like that, Lily. Grandma just..." Tyler reached flusteredly for his daughter, but I pushed him away hard. I held up the container of ribs, my hands shaking with rage. "Tighten our belts? So the money we save goes to feeding your son special meals? Marjorie, tell me, you bought these ribs at Costco, didn't you? $12 a pound, and you're willing to splurge on your son while making your granddaughter eat boiled veggies for 3 weeks? Marjorie finally dropped her unflappable demeanor. She stood up, her back as straight as it had been when she worked as a governess decades ago. "Ella, Tyler is the backbone of this family. He works to support us all, he needs proper nutrition. As for you and Lily," she gave me a once-over, "you work as an illustrator from home, so you don't get much exercise. And Lily's a girl, being overweight wouldn't look good on her. A little less meat won't hurt." "Backbone?" I laughed until tears stung my eyes. "I make more money from 2 illustration commissions than he does in a whole month. Marjorie, don't think I don't know, your pension hasn't shrunk at all. You're hoarding money to pay off your good-for-nothing nephew's gambling debts." That struck a nerve. Marjorie's face turned bright red. "What nonsense are you spouting? That's my money, I can spend it however I want." "Your money?" I jabbed a finger at the quinoa puree on the table. "But you're living in my and Tyler's house, eating our food, too. You've taken over the guest room, and now you're controlling the grocery budget, treating Lily and me like ascetics while spoiling your son like a prince. Tyler, say something." Tyler huddled in on himself like a frightened quail. He glanced at me, then at Marjorie, stammering, Mom's just trying to be helpful. Ella, don't get so worked up. I'll take Lily to McDonald's tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow? I couldn't believe my ears. Tyler, this isn't something that can be fixed with a trip to McDonald's. This is favoritism, double standards. How long has your mom been sneaking you special meals? A month? 2 months? You just stood by and watched Lily and me subsist on meager vegetarian meals while you gorged yourself on meat in secret? Lily clung to my leg, sobbing uncontrollably. Mommy, I don't want veggies anymore. I want to eat ribs with Daddy. Marjorie's expression changed the second she heard Lily crying. She rushed over, trying to pull Lily away from me. Stop crying. Little girls need to be sensible. Ella, you've spoiled this child rotten. Don't touch my daughter. I shoved Marjorie hard. She stumbled backward and crashed into the fridge with a dull thud. Tyler snapped into action, grabbing my arm tightly. Ella, how could you push my mom? What if I did? I wrenched my arm free, leaving a red mark where he'd grabbed me. She's neglecting my daughter, and you're turning a blind eye. She favors you, and you're perfectly okay with it. Are you even a man anymore, Tyler? Do you still remember you're a husband and a father? Marjorie clutched her chest, gasping for breath as she sank into a dining chair. She muttered non-stop, what a disaster, marrying such a shrew. She's going to give me a heart attack. I was done arguing. I bent down and lifted the sniffling Lily into my arms. Lily, we're going out to eat. Mommy's taking you to the best steakhouse in town. I turned toward the entrance, pausing beside Tyler with a cold glare. Tonight, either you come with us, or you stay here, with your mom and your ribs. Tyler stood frozen, his face bright red and his fists clenched tight. Marjorie called after him, Tyler, don't go. She's just throwing a tantrum. I helped Lily into her coat and pulled open the front door. The cool late autumn wind rushed in, clearing my muddled head. Lily rested her head on my shoulder, whispering, Mommy, will Daddy come? I didn't answer. I just held her close and walked toward the parking lot outside our neighborhood. The streetlights stretched our shadows long, and in the distance, I could hear a neighbor's dog barking and the aroma of pizza drifting from a nearby restaurant. It hit me then, this conflict hadn't erupted overnight. Marjorie's favoritism, Tyler's cowardice, and my own long-standing tolerance had been building up like kindling, just waiting for today's spark. Just as I reached the car, I heard rapid footsteps behind me. Tyler was chasing after us, his jacket clutched in his hand. Ella, wait. His voice was hoarse. I'll take you both to that filet mignon restaurant you love. I stopped and turned around. In the moonlight, his eyes were filled with remorse. Lily's face lit up immediately. Daddy. But I knew this wouldn't be the end of it. As we got into the car, I caught a glimpse of a grocery receipt sticking out of Tyler's pocket. Besides the ribs and lobster, there was a bottle of expensive bourbon, Marjorie's most hated drink, but Tyler's favorite. It seemed Marjorie's indulgence of her son went far deeper than I'd imagined. At the steakhouse, Lily happily gnawed on a rib, sauce smearing her chin. Tyler cut a piece of filet mignon and placed it carefully on my plate. Ella, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have kept this from you. Why did you? I looked him straight in the eye. Did you think I'd get angry, or did you just take it for granted? Tyler stared down at his wine glass, swirling the red liquid inside. Mom said, she said you have a short temper and would definitely start a fight if you found out. She claimed she was doing this for the good of the family, and that things would go back to normal once our finances stabilized. For the good of the family? I scoffed. Wasting our money to pay off her nephew's gambling debts and using Lily and me as budget-cutting scapegoats. That's for the good of the family? Tyler, have you forgotten my parents paid half the down payment for this house? We don't even charge your mom rent, and she still has the nerve to pull this? He opened his mouth as if to argue, but just sighed. I know Mom was wrong. And I was too spineless. Ella, give me another chance. I'll talk to her. I said nothing, just looked out the window. Beyond the steakhouse's glass walls, a young couple was walking with their child. The father lifted the little one onto his shoulders, and the mother laughed and clapped. It was such a warm scene, reminding me of the early days of my marriage to Tyler. Back then, Marjorie was still in England, and our little family of 3 had lived simply and happily. Everything changed last year. when Marjorie announced she couldn't get used to life in the UK anymore and insisted on moving to America to live with her son. By the time we got home after dinner, it was nearly 10 o'clock. The light in Marjorie's room was still on, and the living room was a mess. The quinoa puree was still on the dining table, with a couple of flies buzzing around it. Tyler frowned and stepped forward to clean up. "I'll take care of this. You go give Lily a bath." I carried Lily into the bathroom and filled the tub with warm water. As Lily played with a rubber duck in the water, she suddenly spoke up. "Mommy, Grandma snuck Daddy a chocolate bar this afternoon." "When?" My heart tightened. "When you came to pick me up from kindergarten. Grandma was hiding behind a tree and gave Daddy a really big chocolate bar. She told me not to tell you." Lily's voice was small. "Mommy, does Grandma not like me?" My heart ached as if squeezed by a fist. I knelt down and gently stroked her hair. "It's not you, baby. Grandma's just got this wrong idea, that's all." After bathing Lily and tucking her into bed, I returned to the living room. Tyler had already cleaned up the dining table. He was sitting on the sofa with a glass of water in his hand, his expression grim. "I talked to Mom," he said, standing up as I walked over. "She admitted she was being unfair, but said she was just worried I was working too hard and needed more nutrition. As for the money, she didn't deny it, but said she was just lending her nephew some money to tide him over." "Lending him money?" I stepped closer. "That nephew of hers owed $50,000 in gambling debts last year, and your mom paid off $20,000 of it. How much is she lending him this time?" "Tyler, your mom is throwing money into a bottomless pit. Our money doesn't grow on trees. Lily will start elementary school next year. We need to save for her extracurricular classes and her college fund." I know. Tyler took my hand, his was cold. "I told Mom you'll be in charge of the grocery budget from now on, and she's not allowed to interfere. If she sneaks me special meals again, I'll throw the food away." His sincere gaze softened my anger a little. But I knew Marjorie wouldn't give up that easily. Sure enough, the next morning, I found an empty hamburger wrapper in the kitchen trash. Clearly, Marjorie had bought Tyler breakfast while I was still asleep. I didn't confront them right away. Instead, I kept the wrapper and took a photo of it. When Tyler got home from work that evening, I laid the photo on the table in front of him. "Your mom bought you breakfast this morning. You promised this wouldn't happen again, Tyler." Tyler's face turned bright red, spreading down to his neck. He picked up the photo and stormed into Marjorie's room. I heard loud arguing inside, Marjorie crying, Tyler yelling in anger. After about 10 minutes, he came out, his face ashen. "I told Mom either she follows our rules, or she moves out." "Did she agree?" I was surprised. "No, but I've made up my mind." Tyler sat down beside me and took my hand. "Ella, I've wronged you all these years. I shouldn't have ignored your feelings and Lily's health just to be filial. I already called my aunt in England. Mom's going to stay with her for a while to cool off." Looking at Tyler's determined eyes, I finally felt a weight lift from my chest. Maybe this fight wasn't the end, but a new beginning for our family. 3 days later, Marjorie packed her bags and left. Before she went, she didn't speak to me. She just took Lily's hand and pressed an envelope of money into it. "Sweetheart, Grandma's sorry. When I come back, I'll buy you the best chicken nuggets you've ever had." Lily hugged the envelope and blinked. "Grandma, come back soon. And you have to apologize to Mommy too." Marjorie stiffened for a moment, then nodded. After Marjorie left, our meals finally returned to normal. Tyler brought home fresh meat every day after work, sometimes steak, sometimes salmon. On weekends, he even cooked for Lily and me, making roast chicken. Gradually, color returned to Lily's cheeks, and she became more cheerful than ever. A month later, Tyler got a call from Marjorie. When he hung up, he smiled at me. "Mom said she got a part-time job in England, taking care of an elderly lady. She makes enough to support herself now. She also said she paid off her nephew's last gambling debt and won't meddle in his business anymore." "When is she coming back?" I asked. "She said she'll come back when she's really thought things through and understands what she did wrong, then she'll apologize to us." Tyler squeezed my hand. "Ella, thank you. If it weren't for you, I might still be trapped under Mom's control, never growing up." I leaned my head on his shoulder, watching the sunset outside the window. Golden sunlight spilled over the lawn, warm and bright. I knew there might be new conflicts and problems ahead, but as long as our family communicated openly and understood each other, we could get through anything. That night, Lily lay in bed hugging the plush rabbit I'd bought her, saying happily, "Mommy, Daddy's steak was so good today. We'll never have to eat quinoa puree again, right?" I kissed her forehead. "That's right, baby. From now on, we can eat whatever we want. We'll never have to live by anyone else's rules again." Lily closed her eyes contentedly and soon fell asleep. I walked out of the room and saw Tyler cleaning the dishes in the kitchen. Moonlight streamed through the window, outlining his tall figure. He turned and smiled at me, a soft, gentle smile. The scent of steak still lingered in the air from the fridge. This time, it was a scent that belonged to our whole family. I knew this was what home was supposed to smell like, warm, equal, and full of love.